Right, we are now, now I've got to calculate how many days we're on. Let's see, so Wednesday must have been 20, this will be the 24th day of Lent, which means we're officially over halfway. It feels like it's been more. This is taking a long time. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're going to try and make bread, but also I have to go to Colombia for a week. I explained this last time, but it's alright, nobody watched it. And that means I'm going to be Monday till Monday. And also, tomorrow and the day after, I'm going to be helping a friend move in Oxfordshire, which means having portable bread will be useful for me, or portable food will be useful for me. So I'm also going to have to make 8, 9, 10 days of crackers. So I'm going to be here a while. I'm not going to film all of that, but I am going to do the bread process. So the idea here is we're going to make soda bread. Now I had prepared my iPad so I'd actually have the recipe in front of me so I could do it right, but I then realised actually it's just the same recipe as the pancake and as the crackers, just, you know, in a ball. Now, of course, the difference between the crackers is that I will not be using, I will be using baking soda, which I shouldn't have been using for the crackers last time. As I say, you can remove all these things and you can make something unpalatable, which is fine, that's what we're after. But let's see what happens if we do soda bread without the buttermilk. So my plan is, instead of using the bicarb and the buttermilk that you would normally use, I'm just going to use baking powder because it comes to much the same thing in theory. And yeah, by the looks of it, the ratios are going to be very similar to what I use for the crackers, so we'll give it a go. Apparently the trick to it is be very quick with the dough. So get the dough made, don't work it too much, put big gashes in it, and then whack it in the oven for half an hour and see what happens. And then while that's happening, I'll start preparing the crackers. And today I have received my pasta maker, which is what I'm going to use, because it turns out having to use a rolling pin for that was horrible. So I'll try not to do that. But start where we always start. Now, what I have forgotten to do is bring extra bags. So I do have one extra bag, which means that I should be good for 4 or 5 days worth. So hopefully I'll be able to, at the very least, get today's portions out of this. But we'll see what happens. So, 1. That hope is fast disappearing. 2. 3. 4. 5. 8. I mean, we're close. We are close. I'm just going to pour this down. That's definitely not tipping me over. Pause. In a bit. And then yeah, we need more. Okay. So remember, the scoops come when you order the bags. So being that I ordered 10 bags, I got 2 of these scoops. The other one I leave back in the office in case I need to make a shake while I'm there. You can order more scoops as and when you need them from Huel directly, or you can just, you know, pour it and work it out yourself. So, do as you please. Yo-ho. A pirate is free. Right. I feel like kids these days miss out on them classic memes. Right. Oh. I don't know why I'm trying to be so precise with this. There's no way that I actually have anywhere near that much accuracy going on here. But there we go. Same thing with my oven. I'm pretty sure it's not going at all close to 200 degrees. But actually, now that's the thing. The recipe I was looking at is from the Paul Hollywood website, and I don't watch a lot of Bake Off. I enjoy it when I do watch it, but being that I don't watch scheduled television because, you know, millennial, then yes, it's not something I really bother with. However, whenever I've seen Paul Hollywood bake something, it always comes out kind of unimpressive. Like, I remember him doing pizzas once, and it was just like, this is definitely a burnt pizza that you're showing everybody and trying to make them believe that it's good. So, yeah, that's fun. Now, I'm putting more baking powder in than it said to do baking soda, because baking powder is a mix of baking soda and the acid. I have no idea how much acid though. My science does not know that much. Oh, that's definitely too much. Screw it. It's probably gone off anyway. And therefore more will be necessary. Make it extra soda-y. That's how these things work. Smush it in, smush it in, smush it in. In case you're wondering, I did not ask my friend that knows about these things, because that would have been sensible. So, Yeah, come on. You can do this. Screw you. Okay. Now, being that I'm not doing any rolling, I can do it over here where you'll actually be able to see me doing something, hopefully. So, mix that all in. As ever, I have not become magically good at this in the week that I've been making crackers or pancakes or anything like that. Okay. Well made. Doesn't mean it's going to be well made though. Whee! Warm water will have it reacting too quickly. Now obviously, I'm going to measure out an appropriate amount of water, but I'm not going to throw it all in at once because that would be foolhardy. Instead, there's somebody calling from Smarter Choice about my life insurance. I don't have life insurance. Because, you know, I don't make money. If I made money, I wouldn't be making these videos because, you know, I'd be working at my job, which makes money. Right, so where were we? Pouring this shit in. So I hope it saved that video. I mean, really, what I should have done was hit Do Not Disturb, but I'm not going to because something important might come up. Something important might come up. What am I doing? Right, what was I going to do? Right, spoon. I'll just grab this one. Actually, have I got... Do I want a wooden spoon? Is that a better thing for this? Screw it now. Okay, so you know when I said don't pour it all in at once? Turns out I'm an idiot. And I mostly just poured it all in at once. But I'm sure it'll be fine. So, it's now a batter. And it's somewhere between a batter and a dough. Call it a paste. So I think this is one of the reasons why people who become bakers, because at the end of the day, once you've got the baking side of it down, although there are many different things that you can do with your baking and everything, you know, there's only so many variations on dough and batter and everything that you're going to get. And so you know where you stand with it, kind of thing. And of course you can, because it's a science, so you've got like actual numbers that you can work with that are going to be more useful for you. Yeah, I'm just going to put all of it in. Yeah, the numbers are going to be useful for you. So, whereas if you are the kind of person that likes to do things to taste and likes to make executive decisions about that, then what you want to be doing is cooking, not baking. So then you can put in your herbs and your spices, and you can reduce things and simmer and so on and so forth. Obviously, each of them are, you know, that's, some people are going to think that's easier, some people are going to think that's harder. It's entirely up to you what kind of person you are, whether you are a baker or a cooker, if you will. Obviously, I enjoy the fruits of both. though I appreciate that generally I do not enjoy cooked fruit. Yeah, okay. Let's try and get this as quickly as possible into a dough. You do have to be very quick about it so that you don't lose the reaction from the baking powder. This is going to need more water. Easiest way to do that, wet my hand, and boom, that's now in there. Of course, now my hand's a mess, so I have no idea what's doing the creepy squeaking sound, and I hope you can hear that. Otherwise, it's just in my head. This is doing nothing to hold together. Come on. Put it in, turn it, smash it down. Still got flour in there. I say flour, still got Huel in there, which isn't really coming together, which is a problem, because once again, this is supposed to be going quickly, and what it's not doing is going quickly. So, let's try, put that in there. That's still very floury. See, I keep giving the same sage advice in all these videos, which once again, nobody's watching, so it's fine that that sage advice turns out to be pretty terrible, because this is definitely not working. But, okay, we're getting closer, we're getting closer. Come on. Currently stuck in my head is Tina by Fuso DG, I believe. Let's pick up these spare bits of dry dough and flour, pop them in, and fold it up and see if I can't get it to mix in. Dough is weird. Okay, now let's see if I can get the stuff that's on my thumb off. Come on. Obviously. In case anybody's wondering, the amount of Huel I was using was about 375 grams, and the amount of water that I initially put in was about 210 milliliters. Obviously, I somehow ended up using more, so, which is weird because it's very much the amount that I always use for baking the crackers, so it should at least be able to make the dough happen, because it does for the crackers. But there we go. We are learning something potentially. If anybody does learn something, let me know, because I'm not entirely sure what I've learned. Other than I should bake less. I kid, of course. I'm definitely going to try making cakes after Lent is over. But you know, the kind of baking I'm comfortable with, that's full of sugar and terrible for me. but also hopefully delicious. It's close enough. Right, so this is kind of coming together. Why not? Let's say it is. So we get a baking tray. Won't we just? Right, baking tray, dough ball, smash. Form it, form it, form it. And apparently we need to do a big old slice down the middle of that. Big old slice down the middle of that. There we go. Hot cross buns. And that says 423. So 453. We're good to go. Right then. So, what I was saying before is we're going to try and make some crackers. So, obviously we made crackers last time and the principle is going to stay roughly the same, but importantly what we're doing now is unboxing a pasta machine. Now, I did have a pasta machine back when I was at uni, and I'm pretty sure it's in this house somewhere, possibly in the garage somewhere, because I think somebody got it out to use it for something or other. The thing is, it was £10 when I got it back at uni. So the chances of it, I mean, it was never good, per se. So I have splashed out, spent a whole, I think, £35 on an Imperia pasta machine, which apparently is the one to go. Now, actually, apparently the one to properly go for is the Mercato or something. It's the same price, but that was going to be like 3 months on shipping because I managed to miss the one they had in stock. So there we go. We got an instruction manual. We got this is a bad unboxing video. I'm just grabbing stuff from the box over there, putting it there. Also, when they delivered it to me, it already had this side of it all split and everything, but being that it's big and metal, then I'm going to say screw it, it's probably fine. So, fortunately they have done this whole elaborate contraption on the inside that I need to work out, so there we go. There you go, we've got this thing holding our spaghetti cutter, which has both a wide and a narrow setting for tagliatelle, and I'm not sure if it quite gets down to being spaghetti by that point. That is very heavy though. So there we go. And then what we're actually here for is pastas. Now the thing about doing this is that you want to have is that ideally, if I'm making crackers, I want to get them as thin as possible, and also I want them to get them even so that I know that they're going to dry out consistently. And so yeah, that's what we're here for. So we've got some instructions in here. Hopefully, this is just lots and lots of different languages. Okay, and instructions, explanation of how to do things, how to prepare the dough. Do we have a how to build the thing? Lots of, let's make ravioli, let's make gnocchi. Ooh. Okay, this is assuming that you have the extra implements, then you can make ravioli and gnocchi. Whereas these other things, pasta sheets, spaghetti, capelli d'angelo, tagliatelle, trenette, fettuccine, really? Lasagnette and reginette. There you go. Do I have any instructions in here for how to build it? I have a guarantee. There's pictures in the... Maybe. No, this is picture instructions for how to make all those foods, not for how to. I mean, there appears to be two parts to it. Oh, okay, I understand. I was trying to work out what this thing was for, and now looking at the picture on it, I now see it's for feeding the lasagna in, so the sheets in. Now, what it doesn't explain is how to get that first lot done. Let's see how this works. So, this presumably clamps on to something or other. Let's have a look at this again. Okay. So, that bit there, and then this just clamps on there somehow. Ah, that's the wrong picture. Ah, sneaky. Okay. So actually, I think it needs to clamp. Yes, there we go. It clamps on there. It's the other way around, because I'm looking at the picture of it with the spaghetti attachment attached to it. That would go on the other side normally. You've got little grooves here to get it on, if you know what I mean. You just slide those on, and then you can start sliding things. But I don't need that particular attachment, I don't think, unless it's necessary. Hopefully, what I actually need is, there we go, this doohickey wax into, what I mean, wax into this hole here, like so, and then you just turn, and what we'll have to do as well is use this clamp here, pop it in there, and oh, okay, that's a problem. This worktop is too tall, by far. Right, so actually, I was going to have to do that without and see what happens. So presumably, yeah, that's meant to just come out the bottom here, hopefully. Otherwise I have no idea what's going on. Oh, we've got plastic bits on the inside. Can't make it all look metal. But yeah, so we just do that. Things will get, try and trap my finger in there. I mean, it's got a bit of pull on it. Okay. I'm just going to keep doing that apparently. So, right. So there we go. That's what lasagna maker like. And this it does feel very sturdy. Once again, that's what I could do. Okay, once I get it going, I'm going to switch location over to the kitchen table, which is narrower, which has a narrow worktop on it. So, yay. Right. Out of the way. This out of the way. Soft plastics, non-recyclable, I think. Let's pretend that at least here they are. Right. I say 54? No. I will check for golden brownness and hollow underside. I've still got like over 20 minutes anyway, it's fine. Right. Let's try this. So. This stuff. Right. I'm going to need a way to keep track of how many of these I'm doing. But anyway, for the moment, I presume, well, okay, for the moment, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nine. There. And that looks about right. So, get out of the way. This time we're not using baking powder, we are just going in raw. And now, on cheaper pasta makers, I have seen comments suggesting that anything other than the smoothest, silkiest dough is going to just ruin their innards and cause many, many problems. So let's look forward to that. Right. Same trick as last time, except this time we don't have to worry about going as fast as possible. So just be a little bit more cash, a little bit more relaxed. See how this goes. Try and bring everything in. Yeah. And now I have Living Thing by ELO stuck in my head. Ew, that is still goo. This is the problem with using, I need to start just using effectively a rolling pin for stirring. If you use a spoon, then it just gets inside it. But the reason I don't want to use a fork, because if you use a fork, it gets between the tines. And between the tines is even more annoying to try and get things out of. And this I can just wipe down, but that you've got to like get all pokey inside it, if you know what I mean. So you oh, that's still sticky. This is my just perennial problem. I mean, really what I need to do is get a stand mixer. If I'm going to start doing lots of baking, then I need to get a stand mixer, and that way I don't need to have this problem. And just let the dough hook do its thing. That's probably going to be more consistent about it all and everything, so that'd be nice, a bit of consistency. Ooh, this is still going. So this is how I find is the easiest way to do these things, is just mash down, fold, mash again. And hopefully what you're doing when you do that is, because you've got lots of flour at the bottom, is you're mashing down. That's going to stick it to the dough. And then by folding it, you're going to be getting a new bunch of dough in there to get all incorporated, and that. Yeah. There you go. How well this actually works, I have no idea. But give it a try anyway. Also, what it does hopefully is get a lot of flour onto my knuckle, so this dough will start falling off by itself. That would be nice, because it's not doing that at the moment. It's very much just sticking to it. It's going to cheat. Also up here. There we go. Get that back on here, and now when I fold it, it's going to be in the middle of it. Whee! lads. Okay. Bring it over. Roll it. Ah, you bastard. Don't jump out. I may start just using a bit more water. I still feel humidity inside it, so I don't need more water. I just need to be better at kneading. Need more knead. Now, I realise that I don't think kneading is the right word for what I'm trying to do here. Kneading should be when you just work the dough, work it, so that it does things like develop gluten and so on and so forth. So you can get yourself some nice stretchiness. Now obviously we've not got any wheat in here. I'm not sure if oats have any gluten, but if they do, I don't think it's a lot. So yeah, the kneading is not the important part of whatever it is that we're doing here. It's just the getting the flour and the water to get to know each other. Start working as a team. Come on. Can do this. Because what's actually happening when I try and get this flour into this dough is I'm creating this little well, I'm sealing it up, push in, seal up, but then as I work it, it starts breaking through the other side and just falling out again, because as ever, I am bad at this. There's a big chunk of it. There we go. This is the life I've chosen to lead. Let's get that bit out again. I'm close to getting all of it out, so that's nice. Now, I will say, obviously, it'll be nice to make some pasta with the pasta maker once I'm allowed to do that. Oh, actually, when I come back, I do plan to actually make some Huel pasta. So I am going to have the worst sort of pasta. No oil, no butter, no sauce, no salt, just bland noodle. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be nice. No egg. Not doing all that. I'm pretty sure it is possible to make dry pasta at home, so that's what I'm going to be attempting. All of this hopefully will be useful preparation for real food whenever I decide to make that. But when I do that, I've got a feeling I'm not actually going to use the spaghetti cutting attachment on the pasta maker, because I know previously when I've used it, I mean obviously once again this was the terrible quality £10 pasta maker that I used when I was a student, so you know, perhaps it's not fair to judge the Imperia the same metrics. However, with that one, you know, the pasta cutter was always just useless. And actually, what may well be a better way to do it is just make the lasagna sheets, fold them up, and then slice. And then, oh yeah, this is just going everywhere instead of into the dough. So, we'll try and get a little bit on the inside. Come on, crunch it in, crunch it in. This thing is it's not going dry and brittle or anything like that, it's just being annoying. So screw it. Let's give this a try. See, this is still Yeah, let's give this a try and see what happens. Oh, there's just so much of it falling out there. Okay, I'm going to put a bit of damp on it. That was a bad way to do it. Right, okay. So, wet side directly onto the remaining flour. Ew, that's not a good sound. But it has lifted that flour. So hopefully what that means is this is going to start coming together. And what I'll also do, get stragglers. Okay. Yeah, so in the future definitely a bit more water should do a world of good. We've still got this falling out, but hopefully less so than before. Okay, either way, let's see what happens when we try this. I think at this point is probably the bit where I should get that manual out and have a look at how I'm actually supposed to do this. Instead though, what I'm going to do is not that, but what I also need to do, okay, so we've got a little already scratched up, because you know, it's great. Width gauge here, I'm currently on 1, which is probably a bad width to be on, so I'm going to, oh, okay, so that lifts up and then we crank it. Does it? Oh, okay. So you push down to turn it. Okay, that works. Get it on to 7. There we go. Oh no, 7, 6, because 6 is all it goes up to. Can I get it further? No, I can't. Okay. And now, in theory, that is a wider sheet. And actually, that's probably not terrible for crackers. But either way, let's get this. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, that should work. Oh, wrong way. There we go. And I don't think I'm taller than that. Okay, I might be. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Right. Welcome to the kitchen table, the breakfast table, whatever you want to call it. Let's hope that's clean. Okay, let's give it a... Obviously, I take hygiene very seriously. Yes. Right. I'm thinking here is the best place for... Oh, is it? Oh yeah. Okay, more importantly. No. Okay, here. Oh, that's the wrong way around. Okay, let's do it this way then. Go from over here. And let's go a bit darker. See what happens. Can't use butter. But all right. Too far. Okay, fine. I don't like being this far away from it though. There we go, okay. That's the trick for doing it. So what you do, get an L out of your hand like that, and then just wing it around and that will go much faster. If you find yourself in a situation where you need to get the clamp open, and is this still not quite wide enough? It's still not quite wide enough. Right. Actually, if I'm doing that, then that means suddenly, game changer. For you. Okay. Pop that on there. So instead of doing it in the convenient clamp hole, if you know what I mean, I am going to be doing it just on the side. There we go. So hopefully it's going to vaguely hold it down. Oh! So that's the wrong way around. Well done, mate. And that's why I didn't want to do it that way around. Because of this. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. Right, let's try this again. Things I do for my non-existent audience. Okay, it's going to have to be this way. And, well, at least we get to use the clampy thing. No, we don't get to use the clampy thing because we've already established. Yeah, no. Okay. Right. Oh, got about 5 minutes left on that, so. Right. I've got half of all of this. Just push it down a bit. And then see what happens if I just do it this way. So, make it nice and narrow. Do that, and then let's do anything. Oh, hello. Okay, something's coming out. Ah, what's coming out is horrible chunks. But they are very thin, so that's nice. Okay, that's no good to me. Let's try this again. Do that. Right, this time, what I'm going to do is use a rolling pin first, which is annoying because I don't want to have to use a rolling pin. But it looks like I am going to have to use a rolling pin. So it sucks to be me. Rolling pin. And of course this is extra problematic. I'm in my heels, so I've got to bend down even further to get this rolling pin action going on. Hopefully it's not going to be too mad. What I definitely should have done was put some flour down, because this is sticky. Oh yeah. This is why you put flour down, so you don't end up doing that. I've started, so I'll finish using the Brexit approach. Okay, that works. Get down a bit thinner. There we go. There we go. Give it a fold. I like doing the folding because it gives it layers like an onion. And then fold in from the sides, straighten it up a bit, and make it narrow enough to fit through the thing with the stuff. Okay. Now that this is narrow, what are we going to do with it? Right. Okay, so now we can make full use. We can't, that's fine. Right, let's see what happens. Okay, that's now still okay. It's doing better now. I'm still not getting it particularly great, but it's closer. Okay, I need to hold it up. I mean, this wasn't helping anyway. So, okay, get this to. I'll pull this back now. I did see one review that suggested you do need 3 hands to do this appropriately, properly. So actually. Oh, but this is starting to do a useful thing. Okay. Screw it. Let's give this another go. Get it all through, see what happens. Oh, it's crunching it all up there. I mean, it does get it all through. It makes a dirty mess of it, but it does get it all through. Okay, new plan. Let's try this again. Put that back over here. Oh, this will be layery as balls. Layery balls. Right. That's okay. That bit of dough is now lost to eternity. So let's try this again. Roll it out. You'll notice the extreme laziness that was not bothering to turn that into a coherent mass at all and just smashing it down with the rolling pin. Because lazy. Right, doing well. And then fold again. Fold again. More rolling, more rolling, more rolling. And it's sticking to itself again. Well done. Okay. Right. And again, need to fold the sides in so it's not too wide for the machine. Am I making more effort for myself? I don't know. But hopefully, once I get the knack of it, then I will get a more consistent dough, which will be useful in the long run. So, get it. Right. Right. Fine. Having it in 2 bits isn't the worst thing in the world. Right, what I'm going to do this time round, I'm going to put this in here to give it a little ramp to go on to. I don't know if that's going to work. Let's see if it does. So, do this. That bit immediately just falls through. Okay. Get rid of these bits, those can go on there. theory, this works. In practice, it might not. There we go. Okay. Okay. Push it through. That works. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just layer these up, these sheets that are coming out, and hopefully I'm going to be able to just feed them back into the machine as more useful sheets. Let's see how that goes for me. So, that goes in there. I think this is the point at which you need the sheet feeder thingy for the top. It's also not what I'm going to do. Go me. Right, so that's on there. Let's get this to go. Point out, if anybody is looking for a pasta machine review, this is not what the pasta machine was intended for. Pasta machines are expecting pasta dough, which is a much neater dough. Now, there is a case to be made for, actually, even though it's not giving me long sheets, these individually could bake up into useful crackers. More importantly, let's have a look at what's going on with the bread. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to give that another 10 minutes because it's definitely still gooey on the inside. So let it bake. Gooey in the middle. Right. Yeah, so that's not gone well for me. What to do? Okay, let's try the other one. Let's go from there. Right. This lock in here is too wide for a start. Let's see what happens anyway. See how it starts working it through. Like so. Maybe I'm just doing it the wrong way round. Should I be somehow feeding it from underneath? Having it go up? Wouldn't that be a thing? Maybe I just need to make it a bit damper. Then surely it will just stick to everything. Let's give this another go. Maybe. Yeah, no, it's definitely not doing anything too useful. Still coming out in bits. Okay. Let's work out a way to make cohesion happen. So I think I'm going to make it wetter, which seems like a foolhardy plan, but is the plan I have. Currently, nothing is sticking to the rollers. So maybe it's not the worst plan. Let's see how this rolls. Let's have a look at the instructions a bit. Yeah, it's definitely just let everything fall out of it, and then it will artistically position itself around the thing somehow. So yeah, that's what's meant to happen. And obviously you've already started with perfect rectangles in the first place. I'm not sure why that person was even rolling anything. Right, water. Woo. We have significant damp in there. Morning. Significant damp, fantastic. No, that's not a band name, that's an album name, it's Significant Damp. That'd be like, the band would be like the Moist Towelettes or something. I'm thinking somebody must have done the Moist Towelettes as a 50s a cappella lady band or backing band parody at some point. If not, I need to get on that. Check it on Spotify. Yeah. Ooh, that's some damp, that is. Oh yeah. That's batter again on the inside. Okay, so let's start assuming that we're going to need to use significantly more water in our dough. And so actually we've got the opposite problem of what we normally have, where everything's too sticky, so it needs to put more dough on it, but because we're using a rolling machine and assuming this doesn't all just stick to it on the inside, and actually things go better for us if it's wetter. Unless this just doesn't work at all, in which case this is a bad lesson to take from all this. No. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, this feels like I've put now too much water in it, which is always a possibility. Perspective. I may not be taller than that picture, but my head is definitely being cut off right now. Let's get some movement in this. Okay, so I would consider that overly sticky. I would not want to be attempting to roll that normally. Now, however, if I crack off half of it, mold it into its own little ball, which is now sticking to my hand. There we go. More of that, more of that, more of that, more of that. Okay. And this is one of the reasons why you want to be doing the whole gluten thing, because gluten is what is going to keep your dough together and prevent it falling apart. So there are other things you can do to ape it, to produce a similar effect, get sort of gelatinous thing going on inside, but I'm not allowing myself to do any of them because there's a risk of flavour. Once again, risk of flavour. Good band name. Hello. Now this is doing a better job of making a cohesive dough. It's still falling apart a bit, but this is our first go through. I didn't use a rolling pin on it, so hopefully doing it a second time will do a better job of this. It may well be that Huel is just too rough, in which case actually what I might need to do is make it finer by chucking it in the blender. Of course, the actual thing to do would be to get a spice grinder and do it that way, or just a straight mill. Should be an interesting way to go. Anyone that's used to using a pasta maker, feel free to let me know if this is generally how it goes. Because yeah, this is still doing a lot of falling apart. Cohesive, it ain't. Chunky. Well, that's hit the floor. Sure you got low. There's more than I expected on the floor. I don't know why, because it seems like something I should have expected. Oh, hello. Right, I've invested in a cooling rack since I last did this. Now, let's see if you can get a good angle on this. I mean, it still looks pretty damp on the inside there, which is annoying, but if I flip it, it's reasonably hollow on the inside, and it's certainly getting brown on the underside. I don't want it to get too brown. So I'm going to leave this over here to cool down on my new cooling rack. This is a stackable cooling rack, so I'll be able to have other cool things on top of it. Right, what was I doing? That's what I was doing. I was coming over to here, getting all these bits together, and then going smush, like that. Classy way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Get right up in there, that should work nicely. Right. Yeah, let's see what happens. Oh. Let's fall out. Every so often I'll get a bit that looks roughly like what it's meant to look like. And then it all starts falling apart again. This doesn't bode well for my ability to make pasta in the future either. At least not out of fuel. Okay, so my first set is going to have to be without the pasta maker. This is clearly not going well for me. There we go. Which is annoying. I also now realise that what I should have done with that bread was cut it into 3 segments, because now it's in quarters. And the problem with doing it in quarters is that I'm supposed to eat 3 times a day. So what I'm going to have to do, actually, being that it's currently like 3 o'clock or something daft like that, then I'll just have 2 portions now. That'll be sensible. Ugh. Okay, let's do this. So the real takeaway here is not to copy anything I do, because I am not good at this. Right, it's starting to look drier on the inside. Also starting to look like just raw flour on the inside, but it's still very hot, so that's not ready yet. In fairness, you're allowed to, I think, just have it hot. Let it cool down a little bit. Wait until it's warm instead of hot. What's I going to do? Right, I need some flour. So, the plan is, the bit that you probably won't get to see, is I am going to try, as I've just said, whacking. Okay, well, no, I said put it into a spice grinder. That's not going to happen because we don't have a spice grinder. But what we will attempt to do is pop it in that big new blender that I mentioned a couple of videos ago, possibly one bit. No, in the first video, in fact, that we've never actually used because it's too big, too fancy for this kitchen. So I'm going to do that. Maybe actually being tall is useful for this. Give me sort of extra weight to slam down on it. Generally, I don't necessarily have the heels on when I'm doing this day to day. So it is just a fun quirk for the videos. I mean, it's still useful because I need to go to this 70s party. 70s concert, in fact, with an after party. And I'll need to have functional feet. Hopefully I'll not end up just getting bunions. There, come. There we go. Actually, maybe just more water is always a good idea, because this feels much easier to work with. Note for later. The real question is, if I were to pop down to the supermarket, would I be able to find a spice grinder and or a mill? We may never know. Mostly because once that oven's warmed up, I don't like to waste the heat. Obviously, wasting the heat is very much what I'm doing right now. So, don't mind me. I'm talking nonsense. I do feel like I might be getting better at rolling close to the shape I need to roll there. So that's a thing. What size does this need to be? Much bigger. Okay. Let's just lift off. Almost. Pump right in there. Where's my pizza wheel? There's my pizza wheel. So I've started being a bit more formal about how I do this. We cut it into thirds. Yank. Oh, this is not nearly square enough. There we go. And then half, quarters, and eighths. And of course, what that is going to give us is 24 pieces, which makes it easier for me to organise and for me to work out how much a portion is. Although having done it hilariously unevenly doesn't help that situation. The uninitiated, once again, we are pricking the crackers so that they don't inflate. I have on one occasion forgotten to do the cutting and the pricking and did just end up with big puffy crackers, like just giant ones that were very difficult to break down into portions. So get all this done before the baking starts. Right. Time is now 26 past 5. Oh, fucking hell. 3 was unlikely. 26 past 5, so 15 minutes on that is 41, 41. 41 minutes is what I'm going for. Okay. Get out of bed. Okay. Smush this together a bit. See if I can get it vaguely rectangular before I start. This will not help, but you know, it's good to show intent in all you do. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Put this doughy rolling. Rolling, 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 roll bread. Cool. That is just all over the, yeah. There we go. Okay, so does that mean it's all stuck to the table as well? Hopefully not. Eee, there we go. Not necessarily. Okay. I mean, really, I should probably get another baking tray. I think we have other baking trays, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. And yet, I'm not doing it. Because, as ever, I am silly and bad at life. Besides, I've got to get my exercise somewhere. Though, yeah, definitely need to get another baking tray, because if I'm going to have to do many batches of this, then I'm going to want to be able to double up. Okay, all our baking trays look rough. So, we had one reasonably new one, that's the one I've been using. Okay, that's stuck to the table. But luckily, this side is also somewhat stuck to the table. Nice. Just going to sprinkle that on there. Scrape that all off the table. I need a tiny rolling. This is what the tiny rolling pins are for. It's so you can roll on the baking tray. It's amazing. Okay. But this now means I need to keep track of baking times. I'm going to do it this way, so that's a problem. Definitely cutting into the tray there. Okay, is this still too hot? I mean, it's still pretty hot. But hopefully, I can now crack it open. Oh yeah. That's definitely still good. Okay. We'll call that the bit I'm going to eat. Yeah, that's still damp. And it's good because it's rock solid on the outside, but in the inside it's horrible batter. So you know, this has gone exactly according to keikaku. So that's nice. Actually, I remember I brought down my iPad so that I could be looking at recipes while I do this, but instead what I can be doing is working out if I can get a cheap spice grinder somewhere. Apparently Series 3 of Rex Factor is now properly underway as we review Ealhswith, consort of Alfred the Great. So there you go. If you are watching this and you are a fan of history, then you should check out Rex Factor. They are going through consorts of the monarchs of England. And later Scotland, presumably. Now, Tesco flour mill. Do they have? I'm guessing that's just going to be. There's probably a lot of just bagged flours that have the word mill in the title. Yeah, there you go. They've got a grain mill from the stand mixers range. I feel like a grain mill should not fit in this. Oh, unless it's an attachment. Oh, that's an internal servo. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, it's just showing me lots of flour. That's helpful. Right, let's try instead. Spice. Grinder. Tesco. Now I know a lot of people say that you should just use a coffee grinder that's never been used before. However, I don't drink coffee, so presumably this will be the same price. Oh, there's a coffee and herb grinder at Argos. Robert Dyers has one. And that's £15. Alright. Tesco has an Andrew James one for £20.99. Amazon has a manual nutmeg and spice grinder for £7.50. What I should do is Google instead. Can I use a spice grinder for flour? Somebody must have done a Quora or a Yahoo. There you go, you can use the same grinder for your coffee as you do for your flour, but if possible, it really is a great idea to have one dedicated grinder solely for flour. This is always the thing, people always say, don't use your coffee grinder to do that. What they mean is, don't use a coffee grinder that you use for coffee for anything else, because it'll all taste like coffee. Although, there is a suggestion that a blender will work as well, so I will try the blender first, because that's something I have. But that'll be for another video. For now, I'm done here. This is still boring, so I'm going to keep eating it. And I'll let you know how I'll get on next time.